Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well today. Oh gosh, okay, I'll address that. I'll address that on my half. Hey Ross. Ross, real quick. Hey, sorry to cut you off, but we're not getting your audio. Hey everybody, chat, can you hear me? If you can hear me, say I hear Tait. Oh, we're having an issue. Please chat. They hear Tait. Okay. Now everybody, now Ross is going to say, "Can you hear Ross?" And if you hear Ross, say, "I hear Ross." Go for it. Can you guys hear Ross? That is so frustrating. What? Google Hangouts, what are you doing? No, no. That yeah, we're gonna have to. Yeah. Hello, Ross. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I think I'm here now. So much for Google Hangouts.
Ross, you're
That
here.
didn't
We're
work.
picking up your audio. We're picking up your audio. So Google Hangouts has automatic. Well, it's not automatic, but it has new Streamlabs support. So
Yep.
essentially, what Google Hangouts does to prevent identities being strewn out, apparently, I'm reading this off
Yeah.
of it, it will not allow you to do any screen recording with Google Hangouts active.
Huh.
So we're
Maybe
using
that contributed?
Discord. If our audio starts cutting out, chat, please do tell us because
Yeah.
we need to address these issues as fast as we can.
Yeah, so we're definitely still trying to work out some kinks here, and I did my whole intro and I was talking to you guys, and Tait was just sitting here, and I guess you couldn't hear us. But how's it going, guys? Welcome to the MGF Podcast. This is episode 2 of the show with a temporary name where we talk Lego, movies, and whatever else. My name is Ross, and of course, Tait.
Hey guys. Oh, rocky intro, rocky start for today.
Yeah, that did not go over well, but it also didn't go over very well in episode 1 because we were experiencing audio dropouts on my end. And so this time we tried to address it by switching over to Google Hangouts. That didn't work. I also have an Ethernet cable jammed into my laptop this time. So hopefully this will get better as we go. We're just trying to test things out episode by episode, but we just really wanted to get started. That's why the name is temporary MGF Podcast. We're probably going to change it to something more general, something more clever pretty soon, hopefully. But for now, it's the MGF Podcast, and I really appreciate you guys joining in here. We've got some stuff to talk about.
Yes, we do. And now real quick before we get into everything, I do want to include, guys, bear with us. We are just week by week, even day by day to a certain extent, we are testing things, we are adjusting things, We are adjusting our personalities even kind of to fit the podcast, I guess you could say. Not really, but we're just doing a lot of testing, so please bear with us. We'll have this all figured out soon enough.
Yeah.
But anyway, our first topic, Toy Story 4 trailer. That was really...
Yes.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That is not our first topic. Our first topic is SpiderMan PS4 figure showcase. My bad.
Yeah, so I've been posting on Instagram that now that I've finally made some good progress on Captain Marvel, I'm taking a quick break away from that figure to record and put up the SpiderMan PS4 Advanced Suit Showcase, a figure that I worked on for quite a while over the course of 40 days, well after the game came out and at the point where nobody cares. But I care because I love the game and the figure turned out really good. And the showcase, if I can breathe, is finally going up tomorrow, I think, as long as everything goes according to plan. But we are done with the recording and it should be great.
Now, Ross, are you sure that figure's not pad printed?
I'm
sure?
very sure. It is a multi-layered, complex structure of intricate design work that took an ungodly number of hours to pull off. I did not even want to track it this time. But yeah.
It is genuinely an incredible figure, Ross.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah.
You have outdone yourself. You have absolutely outdone yourself.
Thanks,
it's an
man.
incredible figure.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm really proud of it. Definitely my best Spider-Man to date, I think.
Yes. Okay.
But yeah.
All right, cool. Well, now we're going to talk about Toy Story 4.
Off to a great start.
I know,
episode
right?
2.
Oh, man. Anyway, the Toy Story 4 trailer dropped a couple days ago, maybe 3 days ago. Ross, what did you think?
Well, I took like 2 days to watch it. That's how much I cared. And I say that as somebody who loves Toy Story and grew up on it, but personally, I've never really been fully behind the idea of Toy Story 4. I mean, it sounds like the cast had a really emotional time recording it, but, you know, and I think this trailer has very much proved, you're not necessarily proved, but certainly added weight to a lot of people's concerns of it just being extra content that we don't need.
Yeah, so Toy Story 4 is not a necessary movie. Our story's been wrapped up with Andy going to college and everything that happened in Toy Story 3. We don't need Toy Story 4. It kind of just feels like added fluff to make money. Unfortunately, the Pixar sequels, notably Finding Dory 2, Incredibles 2, and Monsters University, they've been very disappointing. Pixar used to be this magical company that would release one original idea after another that would change the medium of both film and animation. Now, it feels like we're getting fluff for Disney to make money, which is unfortunate, but at least we see Bo Peep as a new character. We see a new interesting story, even though Woody's leaving again, because Woody always gets lost and leaves. We see the Bo Peep line. I think Bo Peep is going to kind of be a central antagonist in the sense of she's going to try to pull Woody away and really strive for Woody to stay with her and really push for him to stay with her. So she's going to be an antagonist in that sense. So, I mean, I'm really looking forward to that dynamic, you know, choosing the love of your kid versus the love of, you know, your romantic interest. But other than that, added fluff.
Yeah, I mean, when I only watched the trailer once, and I mean, I wasn't impressed. I wasn't as inspired as I've been by previous Toy Story movies. The plot doesn't seem too incredible. I mean, it looks like they put in large portions of it in the trailer already. Maybe not. But at the same time, man, I just don't care. And I was hoping that the first trailer was going to do something for me, but it really didn't. And that sucks because I love Toy Story. I grew up on it. It's such a huge part of my childhood, of all of our childhoods. And I just hope that this movie delivers, because I think a really good example of a movie, like a spin-off movie essentially becoming a follow-up and actually, in my opinion, surpassing expectations was like, say, Finding Dory in 2016.
Finding Dory was not bad. I liked that one.
Yeah, I personally love Finding Dory, and like I just hope that Toy Story 4 is at least able to reach a similar level. But I based on this trailer, I'm just not seeing it yet.
Yeah, I agree with you. No,
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of sequels. As a film guy, I really like striking, bold, original projects. Projects that break the medium, that evolve the medium, right?
Yeah.
And just to see another sequel is concerning, and I really hope Pixar doesn't get caught in the trap of making sequels so Disney can make money. Because sequels make more money than original movies. That's it.
Right.
That's a given. And it's just kind of an unfortunate way of life, I guess you could say. A way of film.
I mean, sequels, yeah. I mean, well, Lego Movie 2 did not make a lot of money.
That's true. That is true.
Lego Movie 2 almost bombed, man.
I know. How did that happen?
It
was good.
I think the Lego Movie 2 was a prime example of the magic of a new medium basically expiring by the time the sequel rolls around. So when you're introduced to something, and I'm kind of afraid that Spider-Verse might experience something similar with its
stylistic. Strikingly stylistic movies.
Right, strikingly stylistic movies that usher in something entirely new that we haven't seen before in terms of the style, in terms of how it's done, in terms of the animation, in terms of the ideas, and how it's put together. Lego Movie 2 did this. The Avengers did this. The Spider-Verse did this, But then that magic doesn't always stick around for the sequels, and so then you wind up with the Lego Movie 2 where people are just not there to care. And I did not mean for that to rhyme, but it did. So, yeah, man, I feel like Toy Story 4 might suffer from this because we've waited 9 years for what doesn't really look like all too exciting of a follow-up.
Yeah, I am withholding my optimism, but it's a Pixar movie. Even Incredibles 2, it wasn't my favorite movie, but it wasn't a trash movie. It's still going to be Pixar.
Yeah. So we'll see, man. I'll tell you one thing. The Lego sets look like crap.
Oh, the Lego sets look horrible. I mean, I don't even want to talk about that.
I think they're all juniors. I think the figures look fine, but I think they're all juniors if I'm not mistaken.
They are.
But listen, man, I just don't necessarily agree with how like Lego with junior sets limits the playability function so much in favor of simple structures and builds. Like, I get it, but oh my god, those Toy Story 4 sets are bare bones.
Okay, Lego is their whole I guess mission statement is to promote creativity, because creativity while the brain's developing, even up until you're 25, which is insane. Brain finishes developing that late. You never really see that. You never think of that. But anyway, promoting creativity during brain development, it broadens the brain, it causes more synapses, it expands the brain, makes the person more intelligent, more intellectually curious, right?
Yeah.
So for Lego to limit the curiosity, limit the creativity, limit the necessary intellect growth, if that makes sense, they're limiting their audience, essentially. I mean, we grew up with complex kids. I mean, I don't remember growing up, but my mom tells me I built a Death Star. Juniors. Right. My mom told me I built a Death Star when I was 8.
Yeah.
And that's
which one was that? The
Death Star 2
one or the Death Star 2?
The UCS.
Not an easy one either.
Yeah.
That's just a lot of plates that you got to keep track of.
Yeah, thing. I don't remember that. I wish I still had that set put together, but it's pieced apart now. I don't know when it got pieced apart, but I mean, Juniors is just. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, and by the way, guys, we are going to get to like the Spider-Man Far From Home sets and talk more in depth about those and all that stuff. Just we relegate all the time for that stuff toward the end, so we can just talk about it like at length.
Absolutely. So yeah. So speaking of which, let's move on to the next topic. So the Disney Fox merger is official.
Mm-hmm.
It is official.
I think this is great, man. But it's of course, I'm sympathetic, and it sucks for everybody who's going to be losing their jobs. That's never fun. And when Disney buys up a new studio or a new company, man, they also can a lot of things. So a lot of what Fox has going right now, 21st Century Fox, probably not going to fly for much longer. So I expect, like, we already see like Fox 2000 is shutting down. I'm expecting, several more announcements like that. And I mean, but as comic book movie fans, of course, we get the benefit of Disney almost coming full circle with all their characters. They're almost there. And now they've got all the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, Galactus, all those crazy ones.
They just renamed it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know, but they have an agreement with Sony now to where they are cooperating with each other and can bring in characters from the Sony side. So I mean, Disney's they're like pretty much 70% of the way there again, 80% I would argue even.
Yeah, so my issue, it's great for a Marvel fan, not so great for a general fan of Fox IPs. The Simpsons, Aliens, all of those kind of things are going to be affected greatly. Now, I have a picture of a Xenomorph pulled up because this is my worry. There are concerns, more speculation than anything else, that Disney will take Fox IPs like Alien and televise them. I don't want a Xenomorph TV show, because a Xenomorph TV show will never work. I'm sorry. TV shows, they've always, specifically sci-fi TV shows, have always been a bit lower quality, have always been, thematically stale, in my opinion. You have some good ones. You have Stranger Things, incredible. You have Black Mirror, the best show on Netflix TV, however you want. Black Mirror is the greatest show I've ever seen. I just started watching it a week ago. It is amazing. But anyway, sci-fi is really hard to do in TV if you're not doing an indie movie style. Because I consider, for Black Mirror, I'm sorry, I'm going to gush about it for a second, but it's like a collection of indie shorts or indie movies, because they're all like an hour long. It's a collection of indie movies, so it works. Whereas a Xenomorph TV show, an Aliens TV show, is going to be a season-based TV show with a story.
But at the same time, I feel like Aliens is not in a great place right now to begin.
Oh, it's in a horrible space.
So it's like wherever Disney takes it, I have to imagine will be some form of improvement, and especially, and I kind of would have hope for something like that if that does pan out, because of things like The Mandalorian. I think how The Mandalorian turns out will be very telling of what Disney is capable of when they dump a lot of money into a high budget series like that, because then it could be good news for Aliens. You never know.
Yeah, so I want Aliens to die as a franchise. That's what I want, because I don't want any more pain. I don't want any more suffering. I'm not a diehard Alien fan. I'm a movie fan. The first two Alien movies are cinema gospel. They are incredible. They are the pioneers of sci-fi. You watch Alien, the first one in 2019, 2018, but you watch it recently and you say, how was this movie made in the 80s? How is this so old? I mean, it's a master class of cinematography. It is an amazing freaking movie. And so is Aliens 2. Aliens 2 is amazing as well. But I think we need to leave that in the past, learn from that, and create new IPs based off of Alien, as opposed to televising it. And
Prometheus.
We're not talking about that. No, that wasn't a new IP off of Alien. That was more in the Alien. That was them trying to make a cinematic universe.
Yeah.
But essentially, I mean, if they do make an Alien TV show, I hope it's high quality. I hope it doesn't have CW CG. I hope it doesn't have Sci-Fi Channel CG. I hope The Mandalorian and Doom Patrol. Doesn't Doom Patrol have really good CG?
I wouldn't go that far, but most of the time, yeah.
Okay, I hope it's quality. I'm gonna watch that when I get my little trial membership.
Dude,
and
Doom Patrol is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone. It is a wacky show, but it is great.
I mean, that's good though. I mean, that's what superheroes should be.
I mean, like, that show is an acid trip. I mean, it is like so bonkers, but it's also such an emotional ride for each character that it's incredible how they balance everything in that show.
Yeah, I hope it's quality.
But yeah, so anyway. Yeah.
So, do you want to move on to the next topic?
Yeah, dude, let's do it.
All right, so Henry Cavill, Geralt of Rivia, is confirmed. We have a set image here of what he's going to look like in the full makeup. I don't know
anything about The Witcher.
Okay, so I played Witcher 2 and 3. Absolutely love 2 and 3. 3 is like probably the best RPG video game of all time. Witcher 3 is phenomenal. It has a coherent story. I don't want to hold my I don't want to withstand from optimism or anything like that with this. I'm just kind of going true neutral, I guess you could say. I just want it to be decent. I probably won't watch it because I don't like to watch video game IPs in TV.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Let's just see how it goes. But anyway, that's enough of that. Far From Home trailer most likely coming out this upcoming Monday. What is that all about?
Yeah, so apparently I didn't even see the tweet, but I think Tom Holland just posted like Monday. I think he just posted the word Monday, if I'm not mistaken.
So also, I read an article also, Kevin Feige and some other executives were talking about Spider-Man Far From Home trailer coming Monday. They were teasing it. So come Monday, we will see, and then next week we will talk about it. Yeah, I mean, more trailers the better.
Yeah, now, I mean, here's the thing about a second Far From Home trailer. I don't know that I necessarily want a second Far From Home trailer, because it's like, I feel like the first one was already pretty telling of the current state of the MCU post Endgame, immediately after Endgame. So, you know, I think that, of course, they have to for marketing's sake. You know, the movie's coming up quick. But it's like, at the same time, man, I don't want to feel like we've moved on from Endgame before Endgame's even here. You know?
Yeah, that's... Oh, man. Let's just watch Endgame and then give us Spider-Man stuff. But I do want to see a trailer. Maybe not this Monday, but the Monday after Endgame.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you one thing, though. I'm very excited for Far From Home. I mean, like, I don't necessarily agree with the whole storyline that he's in Europe. You know? Because, like, listen, man, we've got the perfect Spider-Man now. We've got Tom Holland. He's here now of prime age. You know, we've done Spider-Man Homecoming, you know, and first, like, they brought him in and he was in Berlin. He was in Germany. And then he was in, you know, he was back in New York for a bit, getting started. And then, so he was already far from home in Civil War. Then in Infinity War, he was very far from home. And now in Far From Home, he's again far from home, but now in Europe. And it's like, listen, man, can we take Peter back to New York and get started with his iconic rogues gallery and just take, you know, full advantage of the potential we have before us, instead of, I understand what they're doing, you know, trying not to retread so quickly, but it's like, listen, man, to me, especially after playing Spider-Man PS4 so excessively, Spider-Man is at his best when he is surrounded by his best villains. And, you know, it's not that Mysterio is not one of them, but it's just like, all I'm saying is, after this, they better take his ass back to New York. That's all I'm saying.
So, Ross, are you saying it should be called Relatively Far From Home? And we should call Infinity War Very Far From Home?
He's like 20 miles away from Queens, you know?
He's relatively far from home, but...
yeah. Oh, man.
So I think... I don't know. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Why the hell is he going to Europe when his greatest antagonists are in New York? He's supposed to be a friendly neighborhood
Spider-Man. Isn't it going to be kind of crazy? Like, he's going to... I think the snap will be reversed, but at the same time, he's also going to have to... he's going to remember Titan and Thanos, or maybe not. That would suck if he doesn't.
Yeah, so... There's two trails of thought. There's two trails of thought with the snap. There's either complete reversal where everybody comes back to life, or alternate timeline where they just stop it, prevent it from happening.
Right, and that's all great, but it's like, I wonder what it's going to be like, because Spider-Man has already confronted the worst of the worst in the form of Thanos when he was with the Avengers. Like, what the hell is he going to encounter in New York that's really going to surprise him now?
So here's the thing, Ross. Because of the fact that you can't do better than Thanos, because, I mean, the only thing that could is Galactus, and now that they have access to Galactus... Hey, that kind of rhymes. Yeah. But now that they have access to Galactus, they might actually add him a couple movies down in, like, the next Avengers, in Avengers 5. But here's the thing. I think, unfortunately, the snap will be completely prevented, because you can't have a story with Spider-Man after he fights Thanos. There's nowhere he can go from that.
Yeah, and that's why Galactus. It was so crazy that he was in Infinity War so quickly, because it's like... Mysterio can't be that scary to him if he still remembers Thanos and the freaking Infinity Stones.
Yeah, so, I mean, if they prevent the snap entirely and he never gets off the school bus and he, you know, goes to the art museum, then it makes more sense. And I think, unfortunately, that's the path that we're going to take. I think that the heroes that were still alive after the snap are going to remember, but I don't think anybody else is, and that's really unfortunate. I mean, that's not great.
And if that is the case, I wonder how long the MCU will wallow in, like, these original Avengers who are still survive. I can't. Damn it!
Rough morning. It's a rough
How
morning.
long? Telling me, how long will the Avengers wallow, in that idea of the original Avengers who have survived and do remember? How long will they wallow in that and be like, what are you guys talking about? Half the world was erased, half of all, everything in the universe was erased, half of all life just gone. And then just like not really believing them necessarily, or just kind of not really being able to feel anything because they didn't experience it because the original Avengers reset it and fixed the timeline or fixed the whole problem and prevented them from remembering it. Just curious thoughts about Endgame, but
real quick, Awesome Gamer says Far From Home could be before Infinity War. No, it's not. Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige confirm it was after Endgame.
He confirmed it was after. He confirmed that it was minutes after Endgame during the Infinity War marketing tour. So before Endgame and Far From Home actually got their movie titles confirmed, he just basically said, the Spider-Man sequel for Phase 4 takes place after Avengers 4, like minutes after. So
the minutes after thing, I mean, it's preventing the snap. We're preventing the snap, unfortunately. I mean, if that doesn't happen, if they take a risk and make everybody remember, then it's just gonna feel weird. It's gonna feel really, really weird that these Elementos and Mysterios are a threat to Peter Parker.
Yeah, and did you hear? And this could be considered a spoiler. I mean, if this theory winds up being correct. So if you don't want if you don't want to know anything about Far From Home, you might want to. I don't want to encourage anybody to tune out, but maybe just mute for a second. But that like the Elementals may just be regular guys, and Mysterio is using his powers as an illusionist and basically making them look like metas when they're really not.
Kind of like a syndrome situation, so he can become the hero, right?
Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. But
I would really like to see that. Yeah, Mysterio is very one-dimensional illusionist in the comic books.
Right.
Very one-dimensional. Like, not even two-dimensional. He's just like, oh, I'm a crazy illusionist. Look at how wacky I am. I'm going to steal money because I'm a wacky illusionist. And if they add some depth to the character by him pulling a syndrome, saying, let me create the elementals so we pose a threat, and then I'll save Europe, and then I'll be highly regarded as a god. That'd be much better for his character overall.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it, man. Mysterio is very cool. And, I mean... Yeah, I think, going back to Endgame, they certainly have plenty of time.
Absolutely.
3 hours is still the rumored runtime, and it's starting to almost, like, solidify. More and more weight is being added to that claim. Obviously, the Russo brothers said that the cut that they had was 3 hours, and that it's very possible that it's going to be 3 hours. I would love that. Yeah. Because it's not like that's actually a foreign concept to audiences. I mean, people stuck around for the Lord of the Rings movies, and a bunch of those were 3 hours long.
Oh yeah,
and people love them, man. So I mean, it's not like it's I think Feige and crew have definitely earned that, and I've said it before, man. I would stick around in that theater for 24 hours, however long they need to wrap up the Infinity Saga, as it's now being dubbed, the first 10 years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, so speaking of the runtime, let's move on to some theories regarding Endgame. AntMan and Thanos interplay? Question mark. How do we word that so it's family friendly? No, so the internet, specifically Reddit, has took to a big meme / theory that AntMan will enter Thanos and grow. That is the easiest. That is the easiest way to kill Thanos. I mean, come on. But how are you going to get him up the rear? That's my question. Just put him in a glass of water or something. I mean, Thanos is still mortal. He still needs to eat. Right?
Put him in a glass of water?
Put him in a glass of water. Give him a rebreather.
Listen, man. Yeah, like that's Avengers Endgame. Thanos, they just... The Benatar flies over the Garden World, or Titan 2, whatever, drops Ant-Man in. He just, like, ploop, like right in a little glass of water, just sits in there. He's got a rebreather. He's just hanging out. Thanos doesn't notice. Takes a sip. Done. Infinity Stones acquired. Just reverse the snap. We're good. Just give it to the Hulk. Put it on his hand. He can do it. We're done. That's Avengers Endgame and the conclusion of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, ladies and gentlemen.
The best movie of all time, might I add.
I hope that they address that to some extent. Like, I hope that Scott at least tries to like go up Thanos' nose or something, just really quick for like half a second before Thanos just swats him away.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So just so we know, the writers did think of that, which I'm sure they did.
What's interesting? So the scene in the trailer where Scott Lang is banging on the door saying, "Cap, let me in." You remember that? in the Endgame trailer, we see that that's an archived piece of footage. So I think that Ant-Man is going to be doing something on his own because of the fact that he can't contact the Avengers. I think that like the first part of the movie is going to be Scott Lang doing something. Because we know he escapes the quantum realm. We see him in a grown over San Francisco. I think he might even try attacking Thanos on his own.
I wouldn't go that far, but I think that
I'm just teasing you.
Yeah,
but we are gonna see him. We are gonna see him do something. I mean, there's gotta be some more Ant-Man, I guess, development in Endgame. I mean, Endgame is essentially Ant-Man and the Wasp 2, in the sense of it's entirely about the quantum realm. It's entirely about kind of all of these sci-fi vortexes, time travel, all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
So Ant-Man will have a very distinct role, and I think we'll see a lot of him in the first half of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious, and this is the problem with the trailers. I mean, literally all we've been shown in the trailers, like a good portion of it's probably not even going to be in the movie.
True.
And so it's like, you can start to speculate that, okay, that is archive footage. Maybe when he comes out of the quantum realm, maybe he comes out right after Infinity War and not after the time jump that we know is going to happen.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Contrary to that, we see Scott in his quantum realm suits with the rest of the Avengers after the time jump.
Yeah.
So, who knows what Scott's going to be doing with the quantum realm in the first act before he finally, arrives with the Avengers, Like, that time jump, man, is really going to... That's really a huge mystery for exactly how they're going to do that. So, I mean, personally, I think the most straightforward way is if Scott just comes out of the quantum realm and it's been 5 years later. I think that's the quickest way to do that.
I agree.
And it would also be very natural for the story because that adds to the story in confirming that time travel is possible without the Infinity Stone.
Yeah, why didn't the Pims put him in a quantum realm suit when they put him in the quantum realm at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp? Don't you think that's kind of peculiar? He was not in a quantum realm suit. He was in his Ant-Man costume. He was in his Ant-Man suit. That's kind of peculiar.
They didn't develop a suit for him, like for the quantum realm.
They didn't give him Pym's suit even. Like they just gave him the Ant-Man suit. There has to be some reason as to why. I think. I mean, I might be overthinking it, but
I think that I think that the Ant-Man suits can go into the quantum realm and can handle it.
Yeah.
I don't think that Scott dove nearly as far as Hank did to retrieve Janet.
And also we're just assuming that the Avengers are going to go through a time vortex, so maybe they need those quantum realm suits for that specifically. Yeah,
I mean they could still very well, like Ronan's saying, they could still very well be spacesuits. We've all been calling them quantum realm suits because they certainly appear and look like quantum realm suits. Maybe they're not. They could very well be spacesuits.
Pressurized spacesuits. Yeah.
That would be a lot more boring if you ask me, but...
But here's the thing, I mean, doing time travel is so hard, because, look at Harry Potter 3. Have you seen Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban? You haven't. We've talked about that.
I haven't seen a single bit of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. I've seen pieces, but, no.
In that movie, at the end of the movie's, 15 years old, so I'm going to spoil it.
No,
I'm not spoiling it, really, but they do time travel in that movie. But everything that happens to them in the past, they cause in the future, but it still happens the first time you're seeing them. So, for example, a rock flies in and hits a pot and shatters the pot, but that was them in the future, but we also see that happen to them in the past. You know what I mean? So, in that sense, anything that they change in the past, if they are going back in time, we have to already have seen it change, if that makes sense. Because when you have time travel, it's really hard because you make a centrifugal time vortex, a time where okay, so this person goes in the future initially and then goes back into time, but that happens an infinite amount of times because that means okay, so infinitely before that they had already gone in the past, and infinitely above that they haven't gone in the past yet. So it makes it really hard to represent on film.
So basically, you're saying, during Infinity War, we would have already had to have been seeing the effects of their time travel in Endgame as we're watching Infinity War, because that's how time travel works, and that would have been the singular reality that they had now created, and therefore Infinity War as we know it would not have happened the same way to begin with.
Exactly. So that makes time travel really difficult to represent.
Yeah, and so I mean the way you categorize that is you just watch before they do that, and then inevitably exactly what we're discussing does wind up being the case. We just don't see it.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're going to do. I do think that they're going to do a dual timeline situation, though, where they're just like, okay, new timeline. Kind of situation.
Yeah, I mean, geez. I just still hope that at least the original Avengers remember everything. That's what, you know, it does seem like everybody's going to forget, you know, that they're going to reset everything enough to where nobody remembers the snap except for them. And I just hope that at the very least is the case. You know, there needs to be people in the MCU who know that it happened. You know, it cannot really. I definitely don't want anybody, too many people to forget it. But yeah. Otherwise, man, the Avengers Endgame sets are starting to hit U.S. stores, Targets in Texas. So if you live in Texas, man, good news for you. You grab those item numbers, head on over to your Targets, and they can probably pull the Endgame sets for you from the back. They have not hit other areas in the U.S., though, specifically where I am. The Carolinas have not gotten a single Endgame set, so I'm just kind of sitting here, just kind of waiting and wallowing. I'm definitely going to try to head out and get those sets as soon as I see if they become available.
So, Ross, I actually have a fun story for you regarding the Endgame sets.
Oh, man.
I was at Target yesterday. I was picking up the Thestral, the Grindelwald Escape set for my game board, because I need that Thestral mold. Because I'm building Death Riders. But anyway, that's my RPG. We could talk about that another time. And I asked them, I was like, okay, I wonder if they have the Endgame sets. So I pulled up the item number, and or not the item number, but like the name of the set and everything, and they had the item number. So I gave them all the information, and they had them in the back, and they're like, do you want one?
Wait, which set was this?
They had the Helicarrier. Not the Helicarrier, the Quinjet. They had the Quinjet.
Oh, so they're hitting California's too.
They're hitting California's too. They had the Quinjet. That was the only one I gave them, so I assume they had other sets. They offered to pull it from the back, but probably when I brought it to the register, it wouldn't have worked, of course. But no, they're in California, at least at that one Target. Maybe that was a mistake, but yeah. So that's cool. I could have bought an Endgame set.
So far, I haven't heard anything about street dates for the Endgame sets, which is pretty surprising because obviously there would be.
Was it April 1st? Or were people just doing that to meme on us?
No, dude, nobody really knows. It could be April 1st. It could be April 22nd. Nobody actually, officially knows, I don't think. Don't quote me, but I haven't seen a straight answer. But, yeah, man, I listen, they're definitely creeping through slowly but surely, you know? But I'll definitely try to email them, try to review them as quickly as possible. I cannot words. This is what happens when you try to multitask as you're trying to also maintain the podcast and talk at the same time. But yeah, anyway, I think I'm more excited for the Far From Home sets, that's for sure. But regardless, I think you know, those sets, while they are really trash for a lot of different reasons, I'm still looking forward to reviewing them. I got new shelves set up, and I have space set aside for them. And, you know, I'll tell you one thing. I certainly wouldn't buy any of them, you know, if I wasn't reviewing them. And what I mean by that is, not right away. So I would definitely, wait probably I wouldn't rush into buying them if I wasn't reviewing them. The only one that I think I would actually, make an effort to go for is probably the Iron Man Hall of Armor. And that's the one that I've been checking for the most, because that one honestly looks the best.
Yeah, there was an Igor figure that one of the leakers had, and it doesn't look as bad as it does in the set images. I actually kind of like the way it looks when it's physical.
Yeah, I mean, the faceplate is still a little wonky, no matter which angle you look at it from, but the build itself is fine.
It's kind of impressive, too. I mean, Lego does.
Yeah, man, I mean, several years ago, me and Lego Hall out the Igor design. I think Lego's really done a great job.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are coming out really soon, and yeah, but so Tate, this was the first time in a while, really, I think possibly ever, where I think I'm actually going to go out and see a horror movie.
Oh, let's talk about that. Now, I am very excited to talk about this.
Yeah, no, this doesn't really pertain to a lot of like Lego stuff, but if you guys don't know, Jordan Peele, his new thriller. That is, oh no, you're gonna put that up on the screen. That's kind of disturbing to look at.
It is disturbing, but we're talking about horror. That's a good image.
Yeah, man, Lupita Nyong'o, that is just such a perfect poster. I don't know how she managed that. That is so great.
Oh my god, can we just gush about her? If I have a celebrity crush, that's the one.
Man, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, wow, this looks really weird. And I mean, for somebody like me and you, people who are kind of like suckers for the multiverse and like, you know, parallel universe versions, you know, what happened to Maz, parallel universe versions of people, us really intrigued me because it's like, you know, horror movies have always very much been in you know, for a large portion grounded in some basis of reality. You're not leaving Earth, you know, you're not dealing with the multiverse. But in this one, I mean, I don't even know if that's the case or what's really going on for the story. Haven't seen it yet, but it just looks really interesting.
Okay.
Like these dark, horrible, negative doppelganger versions of this family that come for them while they're on vacation. It's like, man, how is that? Like, what is that story going to be like? How is is the general public going to be around them to react and also see this happening? Like, what is this? You know, and I've heard very good things. And you know, listen, man, I'm not one for horror movies. It's my least favorite genre. But I think I'm actually going to hop in the car, like, really soon and just go on over to my theater and check it out because I'm honestly kind of excited for a really good jolting experience that apparently is so well crafted as that movie. So
Ross, essentially Get Out was disguised as a kind of, not as a horror movie. It was disguised as a drama, as a thriller. It was disguised as kind of a movie about murderers, right? And then when I sat in the theater and I was watching, I was like, okay, this is going to be like a textbook. Like, why the hell did Jordan Peele make a movie about murderers? And then I'm watching the movie and I say, holy God in heaven, this movie is incredible. The themes of the movie, I mean, it's thematically curious. It's thematically interesting. I mean, things happen that you would never expect to happen in any movie in Get Out. You see kind of cultural relevance in the movie without it being fuck white people, which a lot of media is kind of like fuck white people right now, but the movie did not aim to say that. It's like fuck racist white people, fuck racists, which was, I mean, it was very culturally relevant. It did it extremely well. It was thrilling. It was awe-inspiring, I think. The cinematography was amazing. The soundtrack was amazing. Get Out was my movie in 2017. And now to see that same director with all the passion in the world, Jordan Peele, such a great, passionate guy, make another movie, having Lupita Nyong'o as the star of the movie, have this crazy doppelganger concept. I don't care if they're demons or aliens or something weird like a M. Night Shyamalan twist. I mean, I know, and I have confidence in Jordan Peele that he will make this movie thematically curious, awe-inspiring, and just an incredible cinematic experience.
So, Tate, I think it's safe to say you're going to go see it too.
Are you serious, dude? I'm going to see it 3 times.
Oh, man. And also you got, I think, Winston Duke, if I'm not mistaken. Guy who plays M'Baku from Infinity War. He is the second lead.
I didn't see him in the trailers. Was that him?
Yeah, man. The guy who plays M'Baku is the second lead in the movie next to Lupita.
Awesome. Hey, dude, I have a huge crush on Lupita Nyong'o, so I didn't even notice. If I'm being frank. But man, I'm just excited to see. I'm just excited for the cinematography.
Yeah. And they really drive home the creepy aspect of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when man, that first trailer really grabbed me and really had me intrigued. I'm looking forward to it. Like, I know not a single one of my family members or like anybody I know would be down, so I'm running this one solo. It's gonna be even more fun. Gonna be driving home all paranoid after. It should be great.
All right, well, moving forward, we have some gaming news. So I'm gonna grab the wheel for this one because I'm a
Yeah,
little bit more of a gamer.
this is like for the next like however long, man. This is all on you, Tate, because I have absolutely no idea what any of these different things are on our topics list. Like, what the heck is Sekiro? Yoshi's Crafted World? What the hell is that? Pokemon Sword and Shield trailer?
Well,
go for it, man.
Let me explain. So, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice just came out today. This is the coolest looking Japanese culture game we've had, I think. It looks like a Souls-like, but it's actually an action-adventure game. I have heard that the combat is incredible. I've heard that the art style is incredible. I have heard that this game is kind of a new standard. Now, I know there's a PS4 game coming out soon. It's called Tsutsumi something, and I was really looking forward to that game because the combat system looks incredible in that game.
Yeah. I tried looking it up and I couldn't spell it, so that didn't fly.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it or spell it, but Sekiro looks like it's really good appetizer for that game, and it looks like, I don't know, this game looks like it's going to be an incredible mix between Dark Souls and Uncharted. It looks like an action adventure roguelite.
Dude, you just reminded me I could play Uncharted now. I have to do that.
The Uncharted collection is only $12.
Seriously?
I'm serious. It is incredible. You get 3 games remastered, 3 of the best
I
games.
want to slow down time and just play it.
But anyway,
come on, man.
If you guys have a home console, Sekiro Shadows
or
Die
the Speed
Twice.
Force, please let me know so we can play more games.
But anyway, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice looks incredible. I will be picking that up within the next couple weeks, and I will let you guys know how I like it once I have it. Yoshi's Crafted World comes out March 29th. That is Friday. Or is that's Friday? Is that something like that? I don't know when it comes out. It comes out sometime. I'm super excited for this. I'm a Nintendo head. It looks good. I mean, it just looks like another Yoshi game. It doesn't look like it's going to change the medium, but it looks like it's going to be good family fun. It's in the same vein as Kirby Star Allies, and that's fine. So, here it is. Yoshi's Crafted World. And now, moving on, Pokemon Sword and Shield. We should be expecting another trailer soon. Looking at the past 4 years of Pokemon, they've released the main trailer, and then 1 to 3 weeks later, they've released the Legendaries trailer. So we're probably going to see the Legendaries trailer for Sword and Shield soon. I hope that it's the 2 wolves on the logo. I think it will be, because usually that's how these kind of games work. So I'm looking forward to that. I am Team Sobble. I always pick the water type starter, and a chameleon, a little sad chameleon, is so cute. So that's me.
So Tate, does this mean you are no longer playing Pokemon Go?
Dude, I don't think I ever played Pokemon Go. I'm sorry.
Oh man, neither did I. I was like, dude, that was such a huge fad in 2016. I mean, like, the entire world was taken by storm with that game, and it just died so quick 6 months after.
Dude, oh my gosh. Pokemon Go is
and I was
cool.
just watching.
And then...
You know, there are people that still play it.
It's so huge. It still makes money.
Like on occasion, I'll see somebody whip out their phone, and they're like, oh, this gym is a whatever, and I can do this. I'm like, wow, what year do you think it is?
But anyway, moving on. That's all the gaming news I have. Now, LEGO news. We have a lot to talk about. This was a huge week for LEGO. Starting with the 2 new idea sets. We have Central Perk, which is not... there's no official images. It's been announced as the next set after Steamboat Willie. But Steamboat Willie, oh my god. It's super expensive. It's $90 USD for 750 pieces and 2 minifigs. It's way too expensive. But look at the build.
Yeah, that build is great. And you know what's crazy too is it's the whole build is designed and modeled to be black and white, but the whole interior is like super colorful.
The skeleton?
Yeah, man. Like it's all the Technic inside and all the plates. It's like you have like red, yellow, blue, lime green. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Like the color variety that's just covered up so seamlessly.
Yeah, man.
That's actually present in this black and white set. But I mean, listen, this is such a great display piece for people who are like diehard Disney fans. I mean, there's no way you don't get this one regardless of the price. I know I'm not going to get this one because I wouldn't consider myself like, listen, Disney was also a major part of my childhood and still is a major part of who I am. But it's like, I'm not the type of person that studies the park and every single ride and just knows the history. So, you know, I don't really see myself picking this one up, but I think Lego really did, make a Class A set here. Even if the price is a little bit steep, I would definitely put the $90 toward the Disney Castle before I ever even considered buying this.
Yeah, man. I do think that, I mean, we'll talk about CMF a bit more later, but like changing the hat to black and then adding him to CMF was dumb.
Yeah, that was cheap, man.
Yeah, that was, come on, Disney. Not Disney, come on, Lego, really? But the set specifically, if I was ever going to make a stop motion animation, I would do Steamboat Willie.
Oh my god, yeah, dude. I hope somebody makes a really good stop motion. Just a really nice tribute to the classic, the original cartoons. I'd love that.
I might genuinely try. I mean, I love, the only cartoons I ever watch are Silver Age cartoons, which is, all of the Mickeys and okay, why isn't Oswald in the CMF, dude? Instead of Steamboat Willie, the Steamboat Willie, Mickey and Minnie, they should have put Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Even though he's not a Disney IP, he wasn't a Disney IP for like 80 years. He is now. So like, why not put him in the CMF? I mean, he was the first real Disney character, and then they sold him, and then they lost the rights to him, and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, it doesn't matter. No, I mean, I'm just a huge fan of old cartoons, and I really think that this is a great start. This Steamboat.
Yeah, man.
It opens a lot of doors for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it looks cool. But yeah, it's gonna be a pass for me.
Well, it's not a pass for you. The Far From Home sets.
Yeah, man. So I woke up, what was it, 3 days ago, I think. And this has been happening. This happens to me a lot, so I wake up pretty late, and then it's like, this happened with the Endgame trailer. It was like, Endgame trailer 2 is here. I was like, all right. And I wake up 3 days ago, and it's like, Spider-Man Far From Home set images and Disney collectible minifigure series 2. All right. And I just spring into action and get started on the videos. And it takes up half my day. But yeah, man. So I'm genuinely surprised with Lego with the Spider-Man Far From Home sets. Now, listen, Spider-Man is like one of the most, if not like, arguably the most iconic superhero right now because of the negative stigma that is currently surrounding Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman because of the negative backlash of the DCEU. So really, I mean, I would almost argue that Spider-Man is partially on top, and so that's why Lego, I think, sends so many resources toward the Far From Home sets and toward Spider-Man sets. But at the same time, it was just kind of crazy because at the same time I was really back like, man, this really is one of the best MCU waves. Because when you look at these sets and you think back to, like the Black Panther line or the Civil War lineup or, just all these other MCU sets, the Doctor Strange set or, the Ant-Man and the Wasp set, these sets as a whole really top a lot of the recent MCU lines, like Thor Ragnarok even. These sets are better than that wave. Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, these sets are better than that wave, and so I'm just really impressed because these sets really usher in the innovation, like the inventiveness and the creativity and the flair that has been so absent from so many of the MCU sets. And so when I looked at these, I was like, dude, look at Molten Man. He was the first set that I actually looked at, and I was like, you look at that build and just how crazy Lego has just gone all out. You have these trans orange elements, all these trans chains, these trans orange antennas that create this dripping effect. It's super well articulated. He's absorbing things around him, and Lego has portrayed that by use of like jamming in street poles, street lights, signs. I mean, it just looks so cool with that printed dome that really tops it off, and Mysterio, seemingly trying to fight him off. I say seemingly, put some emphasis on that. He's got a tire on his left arm. It's just such a great build, even out of context of it being a Spider-Man set. And then the stealth suit being the minifigure included, while I wish that the torso wasn't gray, I think if you slap some black arms on that, it would really complete that minifigure to really, drive home the fact that that suit is meant to be primarily black, but who knows what concept art Lego was looking at. Yeah, a lot of people wish that the firefighter was replaced with Ned Leeds, and I agree. I think that would have been great, but at the same time, you need to throw in a firefighter every now and then here for kids, and so I think the firefighter works better for kids. And I am impressed. That's got to be one of the best firefighters Lego has made. I mean, look at that torso, the flashlight, the belt, the leg printing. Like, that's a firefighter, man. The head is just a rehash, but
I believe it's the same one though from their city sets.
But it's new to me, and that is damn good.
Yeah, no, it's a great minifigure. I have a couple of those guys.
Yeah, man. But it's just like, man, when you think back to like the Guardians 2 sets, the Milano for that wave was utter garbage. And then it's just so great how you look at this whole lineup, and you really can't look at any of these sets, honestly, and say that any single one of them is that bad. And I think that's great, because that means the whole wave is solid. I mean, you look at like the Mysterio set, the Mysterio minifig, and Lego made a whole new dome. A lot of people are thinking like, oh, that's the Sandy Cheeks dome from SpongeBob. Nope, that's smaller. This one for Mysterio is smaller. And I'm excited for it, man. That looks really good with the chrome head underneath to create that cloudy effect. Apparently the torso and leg printing aren't overly accurate, because Lego might have been basing this off of concept art, or there's a second suit that Mysterio gets that we haven't seen yet. It's one of the two, probably, that they based off concept art.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tate, what do you think of the Multi-Man battle?
Dude, oh my gosh. Now here's what Lego does right. This is everything Lego does right. Instead of releasing one set for a movie or 5 sets for a movie, so like Guardians has 5 sets, Ant-Man and the Wasp had 1 set. 3 sets. Perfect. Absolutely perfect for a single movie. 3 sets. Yeah. You have a lot to work with. You have a lot of great minifigures you can include. You can also include, a central character in all 3 sets like they're doing here. 3 good sets is better than 5 bad ones, and substantially better than 1 bad one. I think that Lego... I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Lego designs, because I'm such a mock builder and I use so many illegal building techniques. But man, does that Molten Man look cool?
Yeah, man. I mean, it almost looks like a Power Miner set from back in the day, but like a really good one.
It just looks cool. I mean, there's nothing else I can say. I mean, you have all of the light posts and everything on that.
And I think this acts as a good segue, too, into the next set, because a lot of people don't like that in the Hydro Man attack, that Hydro Man was kind of dumbed down to basically being a minifigure on top of a
Sandman stand?
it's like a whole little like whirlpool, like not really a whirlpool, it's like a water spout. There we go.
Yeah.
Made up of several trans blue slopes. And those trans blue slopes, by the way, actually have stickers on them.
Oh, really? I didn't notice.
Yeah, I didn't notice that either, and I forgot to mention it in the video because I didn't see. But that's just so cool, and I honestly think that adds variety. And so I'm okay with that, especially because the Hydro Man minifig itself looks really cool, and honestly, seriously gives me some like Dr. Manhattan vibes from like DC.
I'm using that minifigure in my fantasy game as a water elemental.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him that little ghost body, the little ghost.
Also, Mysterio is the through line. This is kind of unprecedented for Lego. They've taken the main antagonist, main villain, arguably one of those figures, and included him in all 3 sets.
There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. I mean,
no, I don't think so
either. There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, usually Lego does the opposite and puts those characters in one set to just make sure that they make as much money as possible. But man, I wonder if they just believed in this line so heavily, and they're like, I think there's reason for people to buy all these sets, and so it gives them leeway to put Mysterio in each one, because they know they're going to sell well regardless. And I mean, some people have a problem with that because obviously, you don't have, so you could have had like, say, Ned Leeds or Maria Hill in these sets, and they're absent.
That would be kind of weird, in my opinion. I mean, we see her in the trailer and such, but I mean, is she a playable kind of Lego character? Is Ned Leeds
playable Lego? Yeah, well, I mean,
I don't know, man. I mean, Maria Hill's badass, but
are you discriminating against women?
Oh, of course not.
Do you hate Maria Hill, Tait?
Because she's a woman? Oh yeah, that's me, definitely. No,
No.
of course not.
No, dude. But I love that MJ's in there too.
Yeah, I think that's a cool inclusion, despite the lazy torso.
Dude, is that torso a rehash?
That's a rehash from 2012. That torso
Really?
since 2012.
Oh no, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, dude, that was introduced in one of the city sets back in like 2012 or so.
And
that's like one of the oldest.
I also don't necessarily agree with the hairpiece, but I understand why Lego would have just opted. Like it's a pretty,
Ponytail's easy.
Versatile hairpiece.
Yeah.
But I love the new face they printed. I'm pretty sure that's a new face, and it certainly matches the likeness of Zendaya.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, that Spider-Man minifig, the Peter Parker. I mentioned this in my video. Well, I love this minifig, and I'm so glad they finally took that red ski mask and printed some Spidey eyes on it. Yeah, dude. They freaking... This is the same problem that began with Civil War, when both Unmasked Cap, Chris Evans, and Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner, were given the same face on two distinct characters and actors that exist in the same movie universe. And listen, for kids, who cares? But that doesn't have to be. And then they only continued that with Star-Lord, and they gave Bucky Chris Pratt's face from Guardians. And it's like, you gotta be kidding me, man.
At least
and then,
in that sense, though, like, at least Star-Lord had a new face because of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and all that kind of stuff, so at least he had a new face, but it was still weird.
Well, in Guardians 2, he didn't get the new face. He got the new face with the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom sets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that set was not around in time for the Guardians 2 sets. But either way, they did fix that with the Bricktober 4-pack, and they gave Bucky his own unique printed face, which I have now and looks a lot better.
Yeah.
But the problem now is they're doing the same thing because this head that they're using on Peter actually started out as Henry Turner's head from Pirates of the Caribbean 5.
What?
And
really?
Then they copied and pasted it over onto Scott Lang for Ant-Man and the Wasp. And Scott Lang has a stubble, so that didn't really work too well.
Yeah.
But it does kind of work for Peter Parker.
I think it looks
I think it works better for Peter Parker, than it does on Ant-Man. But the problem is they already used it on Ant-Man. So now, again, we have two distinct characters played by two distinct actors in the same movie universe, now sharing the same face in the Lego sets. And it's like, but listen, man, I also find it kind of difficult to complain about these small things like, MJ's torso, which is fine, or like this face on Peter, or the lack of Nedley's, because, that Mysterio is a Class A minifigure, regardless of how inaccurate it may be. That Hydro Man is fantastic. And as we move on, like the Stealth Suit Spider-Man, fantastic. We're going to get to Nick Fury and the rest of them. Really, Lego strikes a good balance here of repurposing heads and parts while also giving us, quality in the way of the new things that they did make. So that's all I want, man. From the Lego Marvel superhero sets and from the Lego MCU sets is just balance. There needs to be balance in terms of the resources Lego distributes into their budget for what they can and can't do. And I think that they really almost, pulled it off completely with the Spider-Man Far From Home sets. And the build for the Hydro Man battle is just so good. It's actually the Hydro Man attack. And it kind of reminds me, because it takes place in Venice, it reminds me of The Last Crusade with that bridge.
Oh, true.
Remember that Last Crusade set with the two boats? This set directly reminds me of that. And I love the brick that they put into the build, the archways, and all the different 1x1 modified bricks that are available all throughout the build, so you can stick the webbing wherever you want.
Yeah, man.
You have like a little, I think it's like a little shop or like a little stand as a little structure off to the right there. This set is so good, and it looks like you could just drop this into a mock and it would look natural.
Yeah, man. It looks like it would fit great in any big kind of cityscape mock.
Yeah, and it also has like these buttons that I think are pretty good that lift up the seating area for like an explosion effect. And you also have one on the back of the bridge, which pretty much blows out two of the front, the top plates on the bridge. So I think the playability is there and integrated in pretty naturally. And then you also have a really nice canoe. And for whatever reason, MJ's paddle is just a stick, though. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah, man. I do want to point out Lego's using that super. I think it's 1x16 arch. Maybe it's 1x12, but that archway that they're using under the bridge. I mean, that.
Oh, like underneath, yeah.
That piece is amazing. Oh my gosh, I use that in fantasy builds. I love that piece. I am going to buy another Hogwarts Great Hall for that piece. You know what I mean? For the minifigures and for that piece.
Are they not on Bricklink?
They are on Bricklink, but they're expensive, and it's just that is a great piece.
So Tait, when you look at the webs included with this set, do you see the two that are like balls?
Yeah, the little dumbbell one.
It looks like what do you think those? What do you think those are?
Oh man, I can't say it's a play feature. I think it's a play feature with the little table. Maybe you put it in a chair and you launch it, but I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, it looks like they should be play feature little cannonballs.
I just had to ask you because when I first covered the pieces on my channel, I had no idea what those are.
I mean, when they're on the sprue, it looks like a dumbbell. So maybe
they look like little like mashed potato blobs. I'm like, what do you want from me? And then I posted a review on the Spider Mech, and that review was already like cataclysmic because I said that there hadn't been a new Aunt May in like 10 years when there was one in 2016, and so the comments were just insane. But those are web handcuffs.
Are they really?
Would you have ever guessed that?
Really? The two little balls connected by the little center thing.
Yep, there are little bars underneath each one that connect to minifig hands. And I was like...
Dude, I genuinely thought Peter Parker was getting those Spider-Man gains. And he's like, okay, let me just spin a lot of webs. Let me do some bicep curls before I go out on the battlefield. That's so strange.
Yeah, so... And also, one thing that Lego's keeping up now is a trend. We're seeing this in the Endgame sets, too. The Hall of Armor... Tony gets a hairpiece when he has his helmet off. In the War Machine Busters, Scott Lang gets a hairpiece. Okay. And now with the Far From Home sets, included with this one, we also do get a hairpiece for Peter when he has the cap off.
Cool, man.
So I think that's great, man. That's something I've always kind of wanted Lego to do, but they've done. They've never just chucked in the extra hairpieces.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But yeah, dude, I love that. I love this set. I'm looking forward to it. It's great.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a great mock set. Like if you build anything European or fantasy based, I mean the colors here, it's like the Prince of Persia sets. Like they're amazing for builds like that.
Mm-hmm. And that brings us to the final set, the Stark Jet and the drone attack. Some people, I guess, kind of technically consider this stuff spoilers. But listen, man, these are going to be on store shelves before you see these movies.
Yeah,
you know, it's like you're going to see these somewhere before you see the movie, and it's like I've never really considered Lego set spoilers because obviously Lego's always had the trend of never directly spoiling too much with the sets.
The Giant Man one sucked though. The Giant Man spoiler. Do you know how cool it would have been to just see that on screen?
Yeah, in Civil War for the first time.
Yeah. That one kind of sucked.
Yeah, so there are spoilers to be had in the sets, absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, you know, at the same time, you also don't really officially know what you're looking at until you see the movie and how it correlates with the movie. Yeah. So in the case of the Stark Jet, I'm sure that Happy's going to have, you know, there's going to be a Stark Industries jet that Happy's on. I think you see him on it in the trailer, actually.
That's not big of a spoiler, though. It's not like a Giant Man situation.
No, but I mean, it also doesn't really look quite like a normal jet. Lego's kind of designed it to almost look like a space jet, and maybe that part of it is a spoiler. Maybe it transforms or something, or there is a jet like this.
Yeah, man.
In the movie, but obviously scale always gets tossed out the window with sets like these, so you have the little windows for the interior just kind of printed on.
Yeah.
They're not printed. I think those are stickers, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe they're printed. I hope they're printed, because I'm not going to be able to put each one of those on perfectly, and that's going to bother me. So I hope those are printed.
Like it would be a bar. It would be a bar, like a 1x8
I hope so.
Stud bar.
Yeah, I'm not looking at it too closely, but I hope that those are not a sticker. Either way, the minifigs are really great here for the most part. Again, you have Mysterio. Could be inaccurate, but still really great. Nick Fury is the highlight, of course. The brand new Nick Fury. Brand new Sam Jackson head. The eye patch does not mean as much anymore and is Not as cool.
Yeah, let's not even talk about that because I'm going to spoil it if we do. I mean, that frustrates me.
Yeah, man. I love the torso. That trench coat print is so great. I love the lining on the actual flaps of the jacket, of the trench coat. I love the shirt underneath, the belt, the shield logo. And they actually made use of Star Wars General Hux legs.
Did they?
So those are the same like robed legs that you see in the Star Wars sets, and Lego has repurposed them very well here.
Excellent.
So I think that's great, and this one is leaps and bounds ahead of the one that we got last in it was 2014 for the Helicarrier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then a lot of people had a problem with this, and listen, I do, but Lego did not include or make the new updated Stark Tech suit with the black secondary color and the white spider logos. And I'm okay with that. I really am. Because first of all, I'm making my own, so I don't care. Second of all, Phoenix Custom Bricks is printing really great ones over on his site. He already sold out the pre-orders, and I'm sure going to have a second wave coming in. But those are also on the pricier side. But even so, this Spider-Man is still the definitive MCU Stark Tech suit Spider-Man.
Oh, dude,
I mean, the printed torso could not be any better. The legs could not be any better. The arm printing could not be any better. I mean, this is still a perfect Spider-Man minifigure that is surviving the test of time, 2 years later now. And so I'm not complaining that we have it back. They could have cheapened out and maybe, like the Iron Spider suit in Infinity War didn't even have the double molded boots. So having this minifigure back in full capacity is not something that I'm really upset about. But of course, I hope that maybe at some point we'll, for somehow, some way, we'll get the updated suit. But yeah, I mean, the jet, though, itself, I'm really excited for, and I had a fun time talking about this, because actually before we even get to the jet, what I love about the additional little builds are the actual drones. To me, these drones are cool and make sense technologically, for the story and, for just like, I guess, the modern age, for lack of a better term. It makes more sense that they're getting attacked by drones than it does in the Avengers compound for Tony Stark and Nebula to hop in a little freaking car and drive around. I mean, I was screaming about this in my video. No joke. It was great. And, then like in the Avengers compound for Endgame, obviously all included for kids. Yeah. But to me, there's a balance that can be struck here. And I think these are a great example of still including builds for kids that also don't detract from the overall experience of the set for all ages. Because the drones are also very natural, potentially not only to the movie, but to this set, It's like, it would have been ridiculous if they also included like a little mini for Spider-Man to fly around in this set. It would have been ridiculous.
Absolutely.
But thankfully, they did not, I guess the same people who designed those, who made those god-awful decisions with the Endgame sets, maybe weren't working on these. I don't know. But I really appreciate that. And they're all equipped with stud shooters, and they also look really good as builds.
Yeah, they're fun. They're definitely fun.
Yeah, and dude, the Stark Tech, I'm still trying to talk about the Spider-Man suit. The Stark Jet is really cool because it has a really great variety of playability features. First of all, I'm so glad Lego is back to doing interiors, man, because there was a good lull there for, like a year or so ago. Like, we went for a while where Lego was just not doing interiors for superhero sets, not good ones anyway. And here we have space for 3 minifigs, actually 4 minifigs.
True.
And I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Definitely.
And inside, you've got these 2 vials, which are trans purple and green, which almost look like they could be for Mysterio. Maybe that has something to do with the story, so maybe there's your spoiler right there.
Real quick, what if he's an artificial villain so Stark can test Peter Parker? Oh god, I'd hate that so much.
I would hate that too, and especially because Stark is probably dead. But you look at this interior, not only do you have a good space for the minifigs, but you also on the left side of the interior there's a little clip, and on that clip is one of those standard boxy black pistols. Not the gray 2-barred Alien Conquest pistol, but one of those boxy black pistols that looks a little bit closer to an actual gun.
Okay.
And that's exciting, man, because it almost for a while has seemed like Lego has really leaned away from using that piece, even though I think that that's the one that should be the standard. Of course, I understand Lego not wanting to promote guns, and so that's why they always stick to the Alien Conquest pistol. It looks ridiculous and doesn't really encourage the idea of somebody, going at, you don't want to encourage the use of guns, but then it's like you look at this set and they're back to using that black pistol, which does actually look like a gun.
Yeah, man.
And that's exciting for the adult fans of Lego like us. And honestly, something curious that I noticed. And you also have this hatch in the middle. And now, I'm not going to lie, I'm low-key confused by the playability features. Because I don't know how the hatch opens for Spider-Man, but basically you hook in his web to a jumper plate in the middle of the interior, and then the hatch beneath him opens up and he can swing out from the bottom. Okay. But I wonder, is like, there's only one button on the top, and then behind that hatch, there's a whole separate hatch that has another trapdoor which drops bombs. And so it's like, I don't
They seem overlapping, but they're not. Is what
saying. They seem like overlapping playability features. I don't think they are. So, and I don't think that, just looking at these pictures, it really quite elaborates. Or maybe I'm just being stupid and not really caring enough to pay attention to what I'm looking at. But it looks like a very functional set, playability-wise, anyway. And apparently these are the same bombs that were also used in those Spider-Man sets that came out in December for the Carnage set, I believe. So that's pretty cool, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. But also you got Nick Fury literally on top of the jet. He's not messing around, man. We're living post-Endgame, Tate, and he is not screwing around.
He remembers the snap, dude.
He's like, oh, man, I don't even have the Avengers now. And he's like, I don't even like Carol. She's all weird 20 years later and just boring. So it's like, it's all up to Nick.
Years old. It's the crazy part to me. Like,
I wonder how old he is in the MCU, because they haven't elaborated backstory enough. It's like, I don't think they're going the comics route to where like Nick Fury is like 100 years old or anything crazy like that.
Oh, I mean, Natasha in the comic books is like 102.
Yeah, I mean, like using serums to increase their strength and keep them young. I don't know if Nick Fury's doing that. Dude's on the set, he's on top of the jet, does not care about altitude. I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. We'll probably see him like grab onto the wing like a Tom Cruise Mission Impossible. Remember that when he like grabs onto the wing?
Could you imagine Sam Jackson trying something like that? He would die.
Oh no, he wouldn't do it. No, his stunt double and CGI would do it. No, but what I'm saying is his character.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, that would
Sam Jackson on the side of a freaking aircraft. He'd just be like so pissed. Like, why am I doing this? No.
Oh my
but
God.
In the set, you also get the debut of Jon Favreau, the creator, the original director that started all the MCU, as Happy Hogan, his character within the movies. And listen, man, I looked at this and I was like, all right, you know what? I don't agree with the hairpiece, but that works as Happy Hogan. I'll take it, whatever. But the more you look at it, the more you're just like, he just looks like a regular guy in a suit, and the likeness doesn't really resemble Happy.
Yeah, is that?
And then I flipped into it further, Tate, and you know where that face is from?
Where is that face from?
The face on Jon Favreau, middle-aged Jon Favreau, is from Kaz, the character from Star Wars Resistance.
Oh
and
my
so
God.
basically,
hey, I gotta
you've got the lead character from Star Wars Resistance. His face is the one being used on Kaz. And I'm like, now it's ruined.
Russ, so sorry, but
ruined.
I gotta run for a second. My dogs are going crazy. I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
I will keep the show on the road. Don't you worry. But yeah, man. So I don't know what you guys think. I can check in on the chat. Am I going to make new customs? I've got the SpiderMan PS4 showcase going up tomorrow. Working toward finishing up Captain Marvel and getting started on Thanos. But yeah, so I mean, I think that pretty much covers it for the Spider-Man Far From Home sets. I think, again, like I've said in my previous video, despite their problems and the problems they do have, this is definitely one of the greatest lines that we have received for the Marvel Cinematic Universe in recent years. I would argue they're, some of the best MCU sets that we've had since 2012 when we first got started. But yeah, I really do not agree with that face on Jon Favreau. That doesn't work. So yeah, but I think moving on though, guys, you might have seen the new video that I also put up that day for the Disney Collectible Minifigures Series 2, which I'm sure you guys have seen. And I like the Disney Collectible minifigure series too. I don't think it's as inspiring as the first wave. But I do think there's a lot to be had here that is really great. You know, as you might have seen in my video, I'm very upset that Goofy and Pluto were snubbed. They are not here. I realize that Disney wants to keep this line going probably for the next few years, and so they want to have characters to save for future sets or future, CMF lines for Disney. But, I think including all the DuckTales guys was a little bit excessive. I think that including the Steamboat Willie, Mickey, and Minnie just with a few slight changes was unnecessary and just kind of lazy on Lego's part. I'm sure there was some planning that went into that, and they just kind of shoehorned these minifigs in, and that kind of, there are differences between the Steamboat Willie, Mickey, and Minnie that we have in the collectible minifigures line and then the ones that we have in the actual set. So they are still unique, but not that unique anymore or that exclusive enough for anyone to care. They're basically the same minifig at first glance. And so I think those two things really weigh this one down quite a lot. And then, like I said, the absence of Goofy and Pluto, which I was very upset about.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
But yeah, I think what I am really excited about, though, from the Disney minifigures line, Series 2 here, Chip and Dale. Those two guys, if you have ever met Chip and Dale at Disney World, those two guys are G's. Like, those guys are legit. I mean, like, oh, man. Chip and Dale... If you've never gone to Disney World and met Chip and Dale, make sure you do that. Put that on the bucket list. And Lego's really portrayed them super well here. I mean, at Disney World, they're a lot taller, but Lego appears to have used the mid-legs for them, which I think is great. And they have new molds, new printed heads. I mean, obviously, this is a Disney collectible minifigure series, so you have new molds and printed heads galore, and I think that's great. And then Jasmine and Jafar, I mean, everything that you would expect, the new pieces, the staff, the cape, the printed arms for Jasmine. I mean, it just looks phenomenal. What do you think, Tait, though?
Yeah,
what do you think of...
I have less than positive things to say about this wave. I think it's 60% amazing. I am disappointed that all three of the DuckTales nephews are included. They just rehashed the same minifigure 3 times. Spread them out across the next upcoming waves. And Chip and Dale are interesting inclusions for a second wave. They're side characters compared to like Goofy and.
Hey man, I kind of put them high up on the list though.
I mean, they're great. They're great, but I don't know.
Tait, it's Chip and Dale.
They are
Chip
G's.
and Dale.
They are G's. You're right about
Chip
that.
and Dale.
I'm not gonna backtalk Chip and Dale, but
Chip and Dale, man.
Hey man, I think we could have seen somebody different, specifically Pluto.
Yeah.
I don't think Pluto works as a minifigure per se because he is a dog and he's not an anthropomorphic dog. But I want to see Peg Leg Pete or Stinky Pete, whatever you want to call him. I want to see Pete.
I'm excited. It kind of gets me excited for Series 3 like next year because I imagine they're going to do like Pinocchio and they will do the rest of them.
Yeah, man.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
But dude, like Jasmine and Jafar, it doesn't get much better than that.
Well, I mean, the lack of the dress printing on Jafar is kind of a bummer. Like it doesn't.
Okay, it does get a little better for Jafar.
But yeah, I mean, I love the new dress piece. I think the new dress piece is amazing. I think the cape's amazing. The shoulders are good fit. The head mold is amazing.
And the face designs are all phenomenal across the board.
Oh my god, let's talk about the Elsa figure. I'll pull that.
Yeah, dude. So this has got to be the best minifigure in the set. I mean,
hey man, I'm gonna disagree. Go for it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's just like how vibrant it is. I think, and also my favorite color is blue, so that contributes. But the arm printing is great. The cape is phenomenal. The new hairpiece is excellent. The face is perfect. Honestly, when I looked at this, I was just kind of like taken aback for a second because I was like, oh yeah, we never actually did get Elsa or Anna in standard minifigure form. They've always been Lego Friends minifigs.
Yeah, man.
So to finally have them in minifigure form, it's very exciting.
Jasmine as well, and then like similar thing goes for the Toy Story sets, with those finally becoming minifigures.
Like, yeah,
standard ones. My personal favorite in the wave is the Jack Skellington. Holy God, look at that.
This is about where I drop off because I know Frozone, phenomenal. I think her name is Edna from Incredibles. She looks really great too. Looks like she may even have a new cup. That cup's probably not a new piece, but it is to me. I haven't seen it before. But yeah, dude, the Jack Skellington and the Hercules minifigures. So here's the fun part. I haven't seen either of those two movies. So I'm not exactly a Disney completist.
I'm not a Disney completist, just like I'm not a Marvel completist. But oh my God, I love Nightmare Before Christmas. I love Tim Burton stop motion movies. This figure, holy God, is it good? I mean,
and
look
creepy.
At that. Look at that face printing. Look at that torso and leg printing. Look at that bow tie. The little printed snowflakes and the new box. Are you kidding me? This picture
looks
is
great.
Incredible. I just wish that they used the Joker coattails from the movie. You know, the super long, wicked coattails.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Even though Jack Skellington doesn't really have those.
Tate, that's when you become a minifig customizer, and then you go to the store, you grab some black paint, you grab one of those Joker capes, and you just paint the crap out of it until it's black.
Hey man, I might have to do that one.
Hell yeah.
He's great. Hercules minifigure is pretty good too. I noticed a lot of people. Now that's personally not the number one for me. Just like I didn't like Peter Pan in the first wave, because
what was wrong with Peter Pan?
No, I mean I there's nothing wrong with him. It just looks kind of funky, if that makes sense. Because like,
are you discriminating against dead people?
Oh, that is of course what I'm doing.
Because that is the theory, Tate. Peter Pan is a dead kid, and those other kids are dead, and he's leading them to heaven.
That is just so.
This took a really dark turn. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let's not do that right now. Jack Skellington's dead, and I love his figure.
So, oh yeah, he's definitely dead, and so is that lady. What's her name?
Sally. She's not dead.
Sally.
She's a doll. She's a living doll, so she's not.
Oh,
dead.
That's a shame because she looks dead.
But yeah, this wave is great. I mean, except like 60% of the wave's great, and then like the DuckTales, all three DuckTales, the Steamboat Willie, and then Chip and Dale. They just throw me off, man. As like the series 2, they throw me off. But they're great figures.
Hey man, I think I might be looking forward to them the most. No, that's not true. I'm looking forward to honestly, like Frozen is not my favorite Disney movie by any stretch, but I mean, that Elsa and Anna could not be any more perfect. Like, look at Anna and that new hairpiece and both sides of the face, the cape, the torso, like the lantern. Dude, I mean,
that's right.
It does not get any better than this for a lot of these minifigs. Yeah. Jafar not included, who needs more printing.
Yeah, Jafar definitely needs more printing. But you always have those kind of drop-off minifigures when it comes to these waves.
Yeah.
But I still think that the best CMF ever is the Harry Potter CMF. I mean, those figures are incredible.
I feel like by not knowing anything about Harry, but I mean at the same time, my wallet is perfectly okay with me not knowing anything about Harry Potter. So, yeah.
Oh man.
The DuckTales minifigures are all very repetitive too. That just literally changing up the colors for all three of them.
It makes sense, but I mean, just add Scrooge, add one of them, and then sprinkle them through the waves.
Oh, is that the lead duck's name, Scrooge?
Scrooge, yes. Scrooge is
he looks like a Scrooge. Yeah, DuckTales. Like I don't know anything about DuckTales. Aren't they like Donald and Daisy's relatives?
So they're Donald and Daisy's nieces and nephews.
Yeah, there you go. Who
but
cares?
They're also Ebenezer Scrooge's nieces and nephews. They're his nephews, not his grandkids. I think they're his great nephews.
All right.
Could be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, adding all three is kind of strange. I mean, they're great minifigures, but adding all three.
Yeah, man, because where's Goofy and Pluto?
And also, why doesn't this have 22 figures like the first?
Goofy!
Yeah. Add Goofy.
Pluto!
Yeah. Jafar should have had the parrot.
And hey, man, they were including Mr. Incredible in the last wave and the villain. So it's like, they could have extended the... Well, I mean, they already did kind of make the rest of them in minifigure form in the junior sets, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
Oh, well, never mind. That would be repetitive, wouldn't it?
Ross, when you ever have time, can you make Toby Spider-Man? Only when you have time. Spidey fan, he actually has to make the whole cast of Arrow before he makes that request.
I don't want to paint any more webbing.
No, man, he's got to make the entire cast of Arrow just for me. Right, Ross?
Oh my
just
god,
for me?
yeah.
The entire cast?
The entire cast of Arrow. I'll make
all
the
250 characters?
Dude, I'll make the... I actually have a skit coming up in the SpiderMan PS4 showcase. You're not making the other villain. Because of how damn difficult that would be.
Jesus.
I mean, oh my god. Yeah, no time for that. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to Disney Collectible Minifigure Series 2. But partially looking forward to Series 3 even more for Goofy and, inevitably Pinocchio. I will tell you, man, when I realized at Disney World as a kid that Pinocchio only shows up in the mornings and we got there at Magic Kingdom in the morning and I met Pinocchio, that was like a bucket list moment for my life. I mean, meeting him in Geppetto was like one of the greatest days of my life. And Pluto coming up to me and signing my book on my 8th birthday at the Contemporary Resort was also one of the greatest days of my life. And it's like for neither him nor Goofy to be in here is really sad. But hey, man, at least we got Donald in the last wave. Donald is great. And I punched him in the ass one time when I was a kid. And that was also really great. You should have seen the look on his plastic face. Like, my hand just like sunk all the way into his freaking like fabric feathery ass. And it was hilarious. It was like on the cheek. It was like on the side. So it wasn't like, this is going to a dark place. Let's move on, Tate.
All right, so we have the Star Wars Celebration Chicago bust.
Yeah, so Star Wars Celebration Chicago is coming up really. It's going to be absolutely insane. They're changing up a lot of the event. It's going to be vastly different, but to get started, they did just debut this the exclusive for Lego. So in Orlando, I won the lottery to go inside the booth and buy the exclusive set. So I have that one from Orlando, and now this is going to be the exclusive for Chicago, and it is a Darth Vader bust. And look, man, if you don't win the lottery online to go inside the Lego booth when you're there, it's really not worth camping out or hanging out, trying to get these sets. It's just not worth ruining your experience over. If you're going to do any camping out, it's always got to be for the big panels, and they're changing up the system to where there actually won't be any camping out for. I absolutely did assault Donald Lego P3, and that is absolutely what I did. But it's not really worth it to, camp out or like really go out of your way to get these sets, especially this one. I mean, it's cool, but at the same time, who cares?
Yeah, man. It doesn't have any exclusive minifigures. It's not anything
it's
like
just,
that.
When you're at Celebration, if you're going to be camping out, and again, they're not at Chicago this year for the panels, unfortunately. It's going to be a lottery system. It's a bit of a mess how they're doing it this time.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, but when I saw people in Orlando who were literally camping out overnight online to get a repackaged Black Series Luke Skywalker, which was literally just the same figure on a new card that had like a Celebration exclusive logo on there, I was like, you guys are joking, right?
That's
when you could be camping out and going into the panel for, at the time, The Last Jedi, or the 40th anniversary panel, where we got to see George Lucas and John Williams and Harrison Ford and the casts of both sagas. It's like, what are you doing? And so to me, I only go for the exclusives at the event if there's time. Otherwise, going out of your way for them, especially like ones like these, it's like, no.
Hey Ross, this just in via Twitter. Crossbones is confirmed for Endgame.
Like, confirmed. That's not a rumor anymore?
No, he's in Endgame.
Like, we got a straight-up confirmation from where?
I'm just reading it on Twitter. He's confirmed for Endgame. I'm looking it up right now.
Well,
Why?
that's exciting.
Does that mean they go that far back in time?
Well, dude, we know.
Far back?
Well, we're time to bounce back to Endgame. I mean, I think that Endgame, we know that they're and certainly the Lego sets indicate that they're going to be bouncing around in time. We've seen the set photos of them in the Battle of New York. This has been established. We're going to see past events of the MCU. Endgame, a good portion of it, is going to be a bit of a tour around past events of the MCU. So them encountering Crossbones is not entirely out of the question. That doesn't surprise me, honestly. It really doesn't. I'm just curious what the context will be.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. I started butt in with that, but that's just
Yeah, dude. No worries.
surprising. That's so strange.
Yeah.
I really hope we see. Yeah, confirmed. Crossbones. It's hard to imagine, but Crossbones is coming back somehow. What?
Maybe Lego will actually make a decent minifigure this time. You see the one they made for 2016 in Civil War?
Oh yeah.
Dude, it looked like a freaking. It's like, it looked like eggs on his but for a face.
Oh,
it was so bad.
The big yellow eyes. No, so here's the thing. So he's confirmed for Endgame. Yet, like, Secretary Ross isn't?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not in Endgame.
No, but, like, why don't we see, like, a Red Hulk? That'd be awesome.
I mean, dude, it's not... Again, anything goes.
Anything goes. Apparently, Crossbones is coming back to life somehow. What?
Time travel, man. I think that, we could still get Red Hulk. We could still get Abomination. I mean, some people speculate that Hawkeye might be running through the raft trying to break out Abomination. Anything goes. Like, anything can happen in Endgame.
It's just so strange to me. It's just so strange. Why Crossbones confirmed? Maybe they got him. Maybe he's essential to the script. Maybe we see him. Maybe we don't see Crossbones, but we see him in Hydra, like Captain America: Winter Soldier time.
Yeah, anything's possible, man.
Oh,
he's wearing the stealth suit, so there could be. He may not be going back to Civil War era like 2016. He may be going back to the Winter Soldier time period,
right?
Because he's wearing the stealth suit, man. What does that tell you? So I think you're right. If we see Crossbones, it'll probably be when he was just Brock Rumlow, like before he suited up and got, before, the Triskelion was dropped on him.
Yeah. That's just,
for sure.
Vulture perhaps could be there. The post Battle of New York kind of situation.
Dude, anyone can be an Endgame.
Oh, man. That's going to be a crazy cinematic experience. They need to be careful with time travel, though. They really can.
Yeah, I mean, and Bucky, or, Sebastian Stan has already... There was a point, not for that big photo that they all did, but there was a sequence where they were all there. They were all in the same room, like 40 people.
Can we talk about his 11 movie contract? That's
insane.
Insane. Imagine signing on, like giving somebody your life for 5 years, because that's what he did.
So he's what? He's like 4 movies in now, so he's still got 7 to go?
He's 6 movies in, he has 5 left.
Oh, I thought you said 11. I thought you said his multi-picture deal was 11.
Yeah. He's 6. Wait, he's not 6 movies, is he?
He's 4 movies.
He's 4 movies?
First Avenger, Winter Soldier, Civil War, and then Infinity War.
Oh, also Black Panther because the post-credit scene.
I wonder if those count against his multi-picture deal.
I don't think they do. I think he has to be. I think he has to be a headlining character in order for it to count.
Right.
But dude, he gave them his. That's more than 5 years. He's given him his life since 2011.
Yeah, I mean, same for Brie Larson. She just signed up for like 6 or 7 movies.
Golly.
Yeah, it's quite a decision, and sometimes, like in the case of Robert Downey Jr., worked out perfectly.
I mean, you can't do any other projects. Is the thing. Like, how is Chris Pratt still doing multiple things? That has to be part of his contract.
I mean, RDJ's barely had time for anything else.
Well, RDJ, yeah, but like, think about Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt's been in a lot of stuff. He's been in the Jurassic World series. He was in that bad movie with Jennifer Lawrence, that really bad space one.
Did you watch that?
No. I only watched half of it, and I turned it off, and I said, this movie's not good.
Was it that bad?
It was thematically stale. It was boring. Nothing interesting was happening. It's one of those movies where they just say a bunch of sci-fi stuff and try to trick the audience into making it sound like an intelligent movie. But if you know like an ounce about that tactic, then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It tries to be a smart drama, and it just wasn't. It was boring.
Well, anyway,
but
Passengers is not a good movie.
It's called Passengers? Oh, I didn't even know that.
Good movies are the Star Wars movies, and Star Wars Celebration is happening very soon, as we're talking about that exclusive. And they just announced, they've been announcing there's like a guest list of like 60 people. They're doing, the whole Clone Wars cast is going to be there. They're going to be major panels for Star Wars Episode 9, for the Clone Wars Season 7 on Disney Plus, The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. I mean, you know, Star Wars Resistance and Rebels if you care. And then there's also going to be, I think, like big closing ceremony panels and panels for like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and just every panel under the sun this year, and just so many guests. I for one, am already signed up to meet Tamira Morrison, who is Jango Fett in all the clones in the movies. D. Bradley Baker, who is the clones in all the Clone Wars. And then they're doing a big photo op where you get to meet the whole Clone Wars cast in one shot and get a big photo with Matt Lanter, who's Anakin, James Arnold Taylor, who's Obi-Wan, Ashley Eckstein, who's Ahsoka, D. Bradley Baker, again, all the clones in the series, Catherine Tabor, who's Padme, and Tom Kane, who's Yoda, all at once. Biggest photo op offered at Celebration so far. And I signed up for that shit, like, immediately.
That's insane.
And I'm really excited because we're going to get to experience all this stuff with buddy Andrew from AV Figures, you know, Nick from Heroic Bricks, Joe, 111 Brick Reviews. And it's going to be awesome, man. We're even going to have Corey there from Making Star Wars. And, dude, it's going to be one hell of an experience. I know it's probably not going to amount to the same as Orlando because it's not the 40th anniversary. There's no anniversary this time, so I don't think George Lucas is going to show up. I don't think Harrison Ford's going to show up at all. But some are speculating that maybe Liam Neeson will, and that would be really great for the Phantom Menace 20th anniversary panel at the end of the show.
I don't want to get political, but can we talk about Liam Neeson real quick? I really hope he doesn't get railroaded, dude. I really hope. I mean, his comment was an anti-racism stint. He was saying, I vow against racism. And
yeah, I don't think, Liam Neeson's not racist. That was just a dark moment in his life.
Absolutely.
Decades ago. I mean, this is 30 years ago, and he was ashamed at himself for it. He didn't actually do anything.
Yeah, he said, I was pathetic for even thinking those things. I really hope this is on his career. And
the movie that he's promoting is another about revenge, and so he thought that it might have been bringing that up. He probably shouldn't have. And the guy, Liam Neeson's a great person. He's a great guy who does not deserve to be canceled. And I don't think he was canceled from this. I just think that, you know, they're just having to let him cool off in the same way that they're letting James Gunn cool off, and then they brought him back, you know. So I think it's fine. But yeah, I'd really be excited to see if he was there because I was in the 40th anniversary panel there with, you know, when George Lucas and everybody was all there. And Liam Neeson and Sam Jackson both sent in video messages for all of us there, and that was really cool.
Oh, awesome.
So, I mean, they certainly know about Celebration, and I think the offers are certainly posed to them. And I really hope that maybe Liam Neeson can make it out this time. But the one actor, the final guest that they announced, who will be there, they're going to have Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, man.
Coming back again.
Hell yeah.
Anakin Skywalker himself. This is also the first event where both Anakin Skywalker actors are present. So both Matt Lanter and Hayden Christensen will be in the building at the same time. Wow. And Anakin Skywalker is my favorite character ever. I'm kind of freaking out. And if they do a co-op photo op, I didn't mean for that to rhyme, where both Matt Lanter and Hayden Christensen are together, both Anakin, I might die. If I walk up on the two guys, I mean, I've already met them both. I met Matt Lanter many years ago when I was a little chubby Ross in 2011, but so, I mean, for me, it would pretty much be like meeting him for the first time again. That would be amazing. I mean, Hayden Christensen is like a super shy guy, and I'm just rhyming all the time today. Oh, man.
You
just like going off with the rhymes. But he's really shy in person. He's so nice, though. And it's just so crazy because, you know, photo ops are kind of like conveyor belts. So you just kind of stay next to them, get your photo, and go. So you only have about 30 seconds. And in those 30 seconds, you just try to convey to them the impact that their portrayals of those characters have had on your life. And so when I tried to do that for Tamira Morrison, too, when I first met him at Orlando, I was like, listen, I know you don't hear this a lot, and I don't have any clones on this business card I'm handing you. It wasn't even a business card. It was just like, you know, for my channel and stuff. It had like Rogue One stuff all over it because this was like early 2017, right after Rogue One had come out. You're just trying to convey to them, like, dude, the clones like are responsible for my formative, you know, years as a teenager. And oh my God, and he's from New Zealand, so he's just so cool. Just such a relaxed guy. You know, they're all such cool people, everybody that works on the Star Wars movies. And so when they drop in like this, it's so awesome. And it's really great, too, because what this also says is that Hayden Christensen, I think, feels accepted again by the Star Wars community. I love that. I think he was shown so
Absolutely.
much love in Orlando that he feels accepted by the Star Wars community again, which he absolutely deserves in
Yes.
every sense of the word. I cannot convey how awesome that is to me. That he still is on board with representing Star Wars and doesn't feel like an outsider anymore. I love that.
So my opinion, just from viewing and watching Star Wars actors kind of blossom, you have two kind of paths. You have the extremely humble, the ones that are saying, we make these movies for the fans give us everything. And then you have the people that say, yeah, I'm on a Star Wars movie, let's promote my agenda. I'm badass because I was on a Star Wars movie. And I really think that specifically the Clone Wars actors, I've never met them in person, but just from reading interviews online, they just seem like the former. They just seem like they're so humble and kind of servants to the audience, and that is just such an incredible thing to see. I am not a huge fan of the movie actors, the way that they've been kind of addressing fans. They're kind of pulling a they kind of pull a little bit of what's her name?
I think.
Never
Well,
mind,
I think the
but
problem there is that they are mostly just addressing the radical man babies who can't even form an argument and are just angry, low IQ children.
angry.
And so they address those guys, but not the people who have genuine arguments and concerns with the franchise that are backed up by pure logic based on the work that they've done.
Yeah.
And that they've done thus far. And so, Daisy Ridley doesn't have a full understanding of Star Wars as a franchise. And so she, and you don't have to, of course, to star in the series, but, but I'm saying sometimes she'll often comment on things and it won't always add up with, the consistency found in Star Wars as a universe. But I mean, yeah, like you said, for the most part, though, they're still fantastic people. I'm not looking forward to episode 9, but of course I'll be there to support them at the panel, and if I get in there with my guys there that are coming with me, hopefully, and also I'll be there, of course, opening day. But for The Force Awakens and Rogue One, I literally to a theater 2 hours away and got a hotel with my dad and my sister both times. Used it as an excuse to see my aunt, and watched it on IMAX because we don't have IMAX screens where I live. The nearest one is, the nearest good one is 2 hours away. After The Last Jedi, I don't think I'm ever going to do that for a Star Wars movie again, for a while at least, because it's that's quite an effort, undertaking, going out 2 hours to an IMAX theater that doesn't have reserved seating, getting a hotel, camping out for, the whole day, and then, getting to see the movie and it just winds up being lackluster like The Last Jedi. That was disappointing. And we'll get into that more because we're going to do a Star Wars exclusive podcast for while I'm away at Star Wars Celebration. So we will definitely talk more about all that stuff, what we love and hate about the current state of Star Wars. And that's probably 2 or 3 podcasts out. So
yeah, quick additional statement. That one will not be live as well. We're going to be recording.
Yeah, that one's going to be pre-taped. So there will unfortunately be no live factor to the Star Wars one.
Are we going to have fun talking about Star Wars for 2.5 hours? Hell yeah, we are. Oh my God. Let me tell you guys, I have a lot of opinions on Star Wars. I am a doo-doo head who likes the original canon, the really sloppy, horribly done, beautiful mess of the original canon.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the whole reset and making that all legends, but oh man, I mean, Star Wars means very different things to Ross and me. I mean, he grew up studying the TV shows, and I grew up not really grew up, but when my memory kind of started, I just read as many legends and books as I could, and I just absolutely love that part.
Yeah. But anyway, we will talk about all that on that podcast. Exactly. I think for now, Tate, are we out of topics?
Yeah, we have nothing else to talk about. I mean, it was a light day for our light week for news, but we found plenty of things to talk about.
There's always stuff to talk about, and like we mentioned in episode 1, Tate and I can go on for hours and hours on end. Literally, we just sometimes play Red Dead Redemption and just like walk around, not like run around in the open world. We'll just walk and talk and not even play for hours. But yeah, I mean, as for the podcast in its current state, again, they change pretty soon, hopefully, once we come up with something more clever. Not sure when, how, or if that's going to happen.
Yeah, we're still in the beginning stages.
Yeah, and when that all happens, of course, the graphics too, probably even the graphic that you're seeing as the overlay, the 4 bars that we have going right now. But everything that we've got running right now still, serves its purpose, and we're just trying to get the podcast to a place where it's functional, and then, once we can at least get audio squared away, because like some of the guys in the chat have been pointing out that we have not had the most consistent audio this time either. So we've been having a few cutouts here and there. And so I apologize for that. We both apologize for that because we're still trying to work out the kinks. Yeah. But otherwise, it's going pretty well. And I think once we get the audio situation squared away, hopefully in the coming weeks, we will be fully operational. This weapon will be fully operational, Tait.
I would like to add just kind of a personal thanks. We're 3 weeks out doing this, and Ross and I, of course, just want to do this to have fun and to talk about the things that we're passionate about. But to already have 600 subscribers on this channel is absolutely insane to me.
Thank you guys for sticking around and subscribing.
Yeah, I really hope that we're making the best content we can and that you guys enjoy the content we're making. We're open to criticism, to critique, to all those kind of things, suggestions. So please, if you have any suggestions for the podcast, whether that be format, name, anything like that, let us know. But yeah, we have big diamond eyes looking towards the future, and we hope to bring you guys the best content possible.
Yeah, and I think that is a good note to end episode 2 on. It has been great. Huge thanks to Tait for making all of this happen. Without Tait, there's no way that this podcast would have gotten off the ground.
It's a 2-man show. Come on. Thank you, Ross. I mean, we're in this together.
Hell yeah. And that's going to do it, guys.
All right. Thank you guys
Thanks
so
for
much.
watching. Thanks for taking time out of your day to hang out with us.
Remember, guys, weekly 11 o'clock PST, 2 o'clock EST, every Saturday. And even if it's not live, we will have the VOD posted at those times. So yeah guys, weekly podcast.
That's going to do it.
All right. Bye-bye.